This is the C Word Podcast. Everything talked about in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial advice. You should always seek professional financial advice.
One of the big things we need to talk about is the Bybit hack.
Go on.
The $1.4 billion hack. The biggest in history.
Yeah, and how did you do it?
What do you know? I know we're mates, but
Yeah.
you know, how good of a friend are we to
Yeah.
each other?
I mean,
so
always out hack each other.
I just can't believe another month goes by between episode 2 and episode 3.
Yeah, 1.4 billion.
Biggest hack in history. Every time it's just some massive story. It's classic crypto.
Yeah.
Always some wild story. And this is like easily one of the biggest so far.
Yeah.
You know, $1.4 billion hack from Bybit.
Yeah.
And do you know what astounded me the most from all of this?
Go on.
It was a low-tech hack.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, for a hack of this, you know, let's just compare this to how a heist might happen.
Gotta love a heist.
Yeah, gotta love a heist.
Yeah.
In a bank, for example.
Was it a monkey wrench hack?
What is that? I love how it sounds, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, and you won't because it's so untechnical. A monkey wrench hack is when someone breaks into your house and makes you log into something with threat of hitting you with something big, like a monkey wrench. It's like someone just comes in and they're like, open your wallet right now and transfer me all your Bitcoin or I'll shoot you.
But that, I mean, that totally makes sense. That happened as well. You know, when crypto was an all-time high, well, not this peak, the last one.
Yeah, 2021.
I remember there was these...
It was the one when everyone in lockdown was buying crypto, right? The stimmy check.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the one, yeah. So basically, I remember reading stories that whole families were being held up for their Bitcoin. And it wasn't even in, like, a city or so. I just remember it being in Wales, in the countryside or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was mad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it happens everywhere. But yeah, well, so that's a monkey wrench hack.
Oh, yeah. I really liked it because I was thinking about it after what you were saying about having your 12 words in a set.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, you could just say you don't know and you'd have to go to the bank and get it.
It's
But
wild.
yeah, most people don't do that.
Yeah. So the Bybit hack, it was a real... I don't know. I'm just really surprised by it because
Yeah,
it was
how low
so
tech?
It
Yeah,
was so low tech. Right, we'll go into detail, but like the long story short of this is some developer installed malware on their machine, which allowed a hacking group to take over the machine and write over the code of some website that was used to transfer routinely a lot of money. And do you know what they did? They just
changed the wallet address.
They, in a nutshell, all they did was they just inserted some code that just sent the money somewhere else.
Yeah.
In it, oversimplified.
Yeah.
You know,
it sounds like a cartoon.
It does.
Like,
it does sound like a cartoon.
They just turn the arrow the other way. And then the guy with the bag of Bitcoin went down the wrong road.
I can't stress how close to the truth that actually is.
Yeah, no, it's mad. Yeah, and they managed to do that because there was some dirty boy.
Well, do you know,
downloaded something.
Yeah, probably. Here's the thing: it was just a developer machine. Now, the problem with developer machines is that they generally, because they're a developer, they have generally some form of access to infrastructure and the services, for example, that are hosting the websites.
Yeah.
And that's how they got in.
Also, why do developers of things so valuable? Why do they not just have a separate laptop that's just for work? Did they download the malware? I'm guessing you don't know. But
I imagine it was.
It seems unlikely you would down malware at work by mistake. Like malware usually comes through personal use internet and stuff.
Without going into detail, I can imagine. I don't think it takes anyone much imagination to figure out where that came from. But
no, I mean. It wasn't LimeWire.
Winamax.
Yeah, I mean, Since the days of downloading movies and music have gone, there's not many ways to get viruses on your machine.
No, you're right.
Unless it's an email.
So it must have been
or something. Like the Sony one. That was another big one.
Well, yeah, that's true actually.
That Sony hack
that was wild.
Just an email.
Yeah. So who knows how the malware or whatever it was. It might have been malware. It might have actually just been a phishing attempt. I don't know. But there's very sophisticated ways for code to be injected onto your machine these days.
And who does everyone think it was?
North Korea.
Again.
The Lazarus Group, apparently.
God, I love the Lazarus Group.
You know, and we're wondering how North Korea is surviving. And they've got these guys running the show.
Yeah.
You know, like absolutely smashing it on the hacking scene.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really need to care where their money's coming from. Like they've got 1.5 billion.
Yeah, the thing that gets me is like how slow all the other countries are.
Yeah,
because it's not like other countries don't do illegal shit all the time.
Yeah,
there's genocide, there's war, there's like just generally like overthrowing regimes for no reason. Just like, people do a lot, and they're like, I'm not gonna hack this website to steal money off people.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
right. So I
mean, also it's very easy to blame North Korea.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, but they're not going to say anything.
And North Korea have this secret group of hackers that keep, every time money goes missing, it's them.
Oh, it's them because we don't know anything about them. So just blame them. They're not going to say anything.
You know who did this? That guy I don't like. Okay, sure.
Okay, let's believe it because no one knows anything about that guy.
Yeah.
So it's easy to believe it. So, but yeah, I couldn't get over how low tech it was. It was just your classic sort of like bank scam. You know what I mean? Your classic email scam where it was just like, you know, you open the email, it says, oh, you need to log into your bank to do this. Press this button to log in here. They pressed it, and someone logs in. Obviously, that's not how it happened with this attack, but. Yeah. It would have been very similar because whatever they clicked on or whatever they did, they might have downloaded and installed something. And I'm speculating here that allowed access to the developer machine. And all they did was they looked at the machine and go, right, this has got access to that website that we need.
Yeah.
And they just changed a couple of lines of JavaScript.
Do you think they just go numbers, or is that like they look at the websites that they need and see who has access and then try to find it?
Do you know what? I'm not entirely too sure, but what I do know.
Not hacking advice.
Yeah. This is not hacking it. What I do know
Asking for a friend if you found a website you want to hack.
What I do know is that I've got to be careful with my words. But they took the smarter journey, the smarter route.
Yeah.
They took the smarter route here because instead of doing the complicated thing, and which would have been like, I don't know, like some sort of complex deconstruction of like blockchain technology, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? They took the easy route, which was they just targeted a human.
Yeah. Always the softest part of any
the weakest part of the security system is always going to be, in my opinion, a human being, which can be manipulated, tricked, is subject to emotions.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, did you see the last Lazarus heist that was in?
What was that? I hear about them all the time, but I don't know what the last one was.
The last big one is when they hacked Sony.
Oh yeah. When they were releasing that film, was it The Dictator? The Dictator, which was a great film. By the way. Great film.
Really funny. And they just hacked Sony. But then I think like because of that, they managed to get emails that they then duped, and then that went on to get more and more, and then they just stole loads of money.
Yeah. I mean, again, low tech.
Yeah, really just efficient.
Just, you know what I mean? It's just so easy because obviously they can't break the technology. Right, and that's the beauty of the blockchain technology system in the first place. But
you just need one person to give you one password.
Yeah, but it's easy to manipulate a human via email, right? And I guess this is the same problem that we have like today.
Yeah,
we have that same problem today, which is what can we do? You know what I mean? Like it's still going strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, except like one of the easiest things to do, right, is just be where someone is, replicate a Wi-Fi of a work environment. Be like, oh, you've been logged out. You need to log back in.
Yeah, there you go.
And then they type the password, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Now I've got the Wi-Fi passwords. Done.
Not hacking it.
Not hacking it.
Credit to Bybit.
You're gonna say Lazarus.
Yeah, I'm done with these guys.
Yeah. Credit to those geniuses at Lazarus. Doing it again and again.
Absolutely smashing it.
Yeah. Legends.
I have to give credit to Bybit. They gave all the stolen funds back to their customers by way of like creditor loans and stuff like not creditor loans, like their backers and stuff like that. You know, people who have invested in the company have loaned them all the money to give back to the people that lost funds. Yeah. Which is why we haven't seen any bad sort of like press.
Yeah, we all in the news otherwise.
Yeah, you know, because everyone was given their money back, and they took on the loss. Yeah. Which is really good of them, because a lot of companies did not do that, or were not in a position to do that. No. And have lost their life savings, have lost their kids' college funds and stuff like that, which is grim.
That is what we talked about last time, though, isn't it? In like, there's one of the reasons that people wouldn't move fully to crypto is that banks give you like that 80 grand or whatever. If you lose all your money, they give you 80 grand back.
And this is why this is the thing that we all need to be aware of. And this is why crypto has never really been truly adopted, is because we have this problem where if you lose your crypto, ain't no one giving it you back. Right? Yeah. If it's been hacked or if it's been stolen from a phishing scam, like, you know, the government are not going to give you that back because it's not accounted for anywhere. It doesn't exist. It's not a real form of value.
Well, on a company scale like that, they would just be insured, right?
You would hope so.
So they get hacked and then their insurance just pay out and they get the money back.
If this was 1.5 billion hack of a bank, can you imagine the carnage?
Yeah, it'd be wild.
It would be wild, right? It would be absolutely wild, and there would be riots in the street and shit, and people queuing up at cash machines.
Yeah, and they wouldn't give people their money back.
But they wouldn't give you money back because, and what is crazy is like, a bank doesn't have to give you the money back as well. They also don't have to give you. You can go to a bank teller and say, I want to take out my money, and they can just say no.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they have that power to say no.
Yeah. Or if you want to put money in.
Yeah.
If you turn up with like 10 grand in cash, they'll be like, no, we don't have to accept that.
Which is wild when you think about it.
Yeah. It makes it all kind of pointless.
Low-tech heists.
Hacks, yeah.
I still can't get over it now. Do you know what I mean? How low-tech it was. Like, they just went into a developer's machine, changed the code on a website. Yeah. And then just allowed it to happen. And then they just changed it back as soon as it was done. And what was crazy...
Putting it back's wild. Like, tidying up.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, in order to sort of complete the illusion, you know, they put the transaction back as if it was like... They saved the original one, did the hack, put the real transaction back, you know, to make it look like it was all okay, which is wild.
How quickly did it take? Because I remember as well that Sony one, it was like... It happened on like the 4th of July. It was something really American where they were like,
classic.
These Americans will be busy watching the Super Bowl.
With this, it was a bit different because they would have had to have planted the malware and then just waited. They would have just been waiting, because what Bybit do, I'm not entirely too sure if this is exactly how they would work, but what they do is every now and then they rotate the funds. So they move all their sort of like money to another wallet, and then periodically to another wallet, and they just keep sort of rotating where the money is living, because it's such a high value. It makes sense to move it around. This is sort of like the equivalent of when a bank has a high value thing, and instead of keeping it one place, it's safer to move it around. So that's what they're doing. They're moving it around. So what they did was they waited for the point where all these funds were about to be moved around. Yeah. And the way Bybit works is it's a multi-signature wallet, so it needs more than one signature, more than one person. In this case, 3. And they hacked the website that would execute the transaction after all 3 have signed.
Right.
So once all 3 signed, they were just sat waiting for it. And they used a developer machine to change the code on the website that would finally authorize the transaction. And then they went, once it was done, it was done. They authorized the money, instead of to be moved to another wallet, they actually authorized the control to be given to someone else. As soon as that happened, the money was gone.